right now. Today is the day that you choose to change the rest of your life. It is time to turn your setback into the greatest comeback story ever told, and nobody is more capable than you. This is the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast, the future #1 weight loss podcast in the world. I am your host, Donato Russo. I hope you enjoy the show today. If this is your first time here and you enjoy the show, please subscribe and spread the word of the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast wherever you are and to whomever will listen. If you'd like to connect on social media or wherever else, check out my Linktree page, Linktree/the Ranting Weight Watcher. Let's connect today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 112 of the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast. If you are new here, welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you consider sharing the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast with anyone you know who is in the same fight and going through the same struggle as we are all going through. Because together, we're going to make it happen. I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Let's get into this! Journey updates. We are down this week, minus 3.4 pounds. For the month of October, we are now down 3.4 pounds. So the experiment debacle that caused me to gain the 3 pounds is now gone, plus a little bit more. I am thankful for that, that's for sure. Total loss since January 2019 is now 158 pounds. Total pounds remaining to get to our current milestone goal of 175 is 17 pounds. And the current pounds remaining to get to our big milestone goal, which is 200 pounds, is 42 pounds. So today I want to talk to you guys about the fourth quarter. We're just about 2 weeks in to the final quarter of the year. And this is a time of the year where a lot of people use some crazy rationalizing to get themselves out of things they don't feel like doing. Because they've convinced themselves that other things are more worth it. I hope this episode today shows you that you can find balance even at this time of the year. A lot of people in the fourth quarter check out. If you haven't heard episode 111, I've gotten some great feedback on it and some other feedback that I didn't enjoy reading, but it's the reality of life. It's definitely a special episode, that's for sure, without a doubt. It was divine timing, to say the least. I got a number of text messages, emails. I don't really want to read them because I never really got permission to read them. But the gist of a number of them were, I was thinking about quitting, or this was going to be my last weekend, or just something to the effect of, I was leaving WW. And then I found your podcast. And then I listened to 111. And that's whatever the case may be. Somehow, some way, they ended up listening to episode 111 while having these thoughts. Episode 111 talked them out of the idea of quitting or leaving WW, whether it was temporary or just putting it on pause or whatever the case may be. There are cycles, and I've mentioned them so many times. This time of year is one of those cycles. Every quarter of the year is a cycle. But every year in total is one big cycle. If we take each quarter as it is, you got January, February, March. This is the time of year where people are motivated to make some serious health choices. Why are they motivated in January? They're motivated in January because of what they did in October through December. That's why they are so motivated in January. So they jump in head first with zero education of actually how much work it takes to pull off what they did, or what they want to do, I should say. They have no idea. They just dive right in and they do what they think they need to do, or what someone else told them worked for them, and they go ahead and do it. And when they don't get the results they want, some of them are out the door before the end of January. And matter of fact, I believe Quitter's Day is January 20th. And between January 20th and February 15th, up to 80% of the people that started on January 2nd are gone between that time period. Just because they don't get the results they want when they want them. And when I saw the feedback I received for episode 111, it kind of made me sad a little bit to know that people were on this edge. But at the same time, it made me happy that because of the podcast, they did not leave. They did not postpone or pause their membership, however you want to say it. Quit WW. They didn't, because they heard episode 111. And if you haven't heard it and you're hearing me now, you may want to consider listening to it. But this fourth quarter of the year is probably the most crucial one of them all. And I'm going to show you a little later in the episode an example of how to look at it. But it is the most crucial point of the year because there are a lot of people making decisions without any realization of the consequence. The true realization of what the true consequence is. There are a number of you out there, maybe you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, or maybe you know someone who's done this. That this time of year approaches and they just want to check out. They don't want to have anything to do with measuring, weighing, tracking, exercising. They don't want to have anything to do with any of that. Just because of the time of year. Now let's really think about this for a minute. Let's really put our head into it. October 1st to January 1st. We're talking about 3 months. That's 1/4 of the year. 90 days. How many of those 90 days are actually holidays? Just think about it. I don't need the real answer. Just think about it. How many of the 90 are actually holidays? Now, people are rationalizing it all over the place that they want to check out. Oh, I just don't want to deal with tracking. I don't want to deal with weighing and measuring. I don't want to deal with exercise. I don't want to deal with any of it. I just want to enjoy this time of year. Enjoy this time of year. If we really think about the holidays that are happening at this time of year, if we really, really think of the true meaning of the majority of these holidays, what does food have anything to do with them? We have made it so that food has to do with these holidays. And we made food part of the center of everyone gathering. But what is the true meaning of the holiday you're celebrating? And why can you not track, weigh, and measure during this time of year? Listen, I'll bet in Vegas right now, if this is your way of getting out of these 3 months, how much effort are you putting into the other 9? How much tracking, weighing, and measuring and everything else are you doing for the other 9? And how much are you pretending to do for the other 9? If these 3 months, just because of a few holidays, because look, there's other points of the year where there's holidays. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of reason. The whole point of why they call it a healthy lifestyle is because you're learning to live and be healthy. Is every choice you're going to make a healthy choice? No. But to just X out 90 days of the year, a quarter of the year gone, just because of the type of season it is, that's insanity. And if you ever pay attention to the most successful people on WW or any weight loss, it doesn't have to be WW, any weight loss system for that matter, if you pay attention to the most successful ones out of them all, the one difference between the most successful and the ones that stay stuck in their cycles is this moment. It's this decision. Because everybody faces this decision. Everybody comes to the point where they don't feel like doing something. And the most successful people keep choosing to do it anyway. And the ones that stay stuck in the cycle do it when they feel like it. That's the bottom line. If you are ever going to truly be successful, your feelings do not matter anymore. They never did. Your feelings only have validity because you think they are valid. The bottom line is, you want to achieve a goal. Life tells you this is the work required to achieve that goal. You say, well, I don't feel like that work should be required. And life says, I don't care. Well, you don't understand how I feel about the situation. You don't understand how this doesn't work for me. And life says, I don't care. And no matter how many times you can think of a different way to say it, life still says, I don't care. You said you wanted to achieve this. I told you, in order to achieve that, you have to do this. It's that simple. Everybody else making it complicated, it is by choice that they are making it complicated. Everybody has circumstances, and your choice is to either adapt and continue forward toward your goal, or use it as a crutch and don't continue toward your goal. But everybody faces choices like this. Every single last one of us. And the most successful just keep going, regardless of the situation. Does that make them better than you? No. It just puts the lie to what you believe. When people like that exist, It puts the lie to everyone else. That's the bottom line. And the choice ends up being, am I going toward my goal or am I going away from my goal? Listen, let's really think about this for a second. If you could do this on your own, would you be listening to me right now? Would you be on any plan? Or would you just be living? Would you need structure like this if you could do it on your own? Would you need workshops? Would you need to buy WW snacks and look at WW recipes and whatever other programs there are? Would you need to do all that if you could do it on your own? So why, at the most crucial point of the year, the last 90 days of the year, are you choosing to check out for all 90 of those days when really just a small fraction of them are actually holidays? We're going to take a break. I'll be right back. I now present to you the Ranting Weight Watcher Accountability Creed. If you choose this day to say this creed, you are accountable to me, the author. You are also accountable to all of those before you who have taken the creed, and all of those after you who will take the creed. But most of all, you are accountable to yourself. Now recite with me the Accountability Creed. Nothing can stand in my way because I choose to be unstoppable. My challenges crumble in my presence because I choose strength when I am weak. My insecurities have no power over my life because I choose confidence in the face of fear. I own every last one of my mistakes because I choose growth over mediocrity. The mirror and the scale are powerless because I move forward in spite of the result. Circumstances are not obstacles because I see solutions instead of problems. The demons of my past can no longer torment me because I choose to renew my mind daily. All things are possible as long as I believe, because if God is for me, who can be against me? This is the creed I declare each day. It is about what I do, not what I say. I will learn the work that needs to be done. I will never stop, even when I've won. I will work consistently, no matter the cost. I refuse to believe that all hope is lost. I will work when I want to. I will work when I don't. I will work when they are cheering. I will work when they won't. I will work when it's easy. I will work when it's hard. The atonements that I've made are made with no regard. I will work when it's cold. I will work when it's hot, because choices have consequences, justified or not. When I think I know it all, I will start back at one, because regardless of what I think, the work is never done. And from this moment forward, when times are tough, I choose to believe that I am enough. And now it's time for Random Facts You Didn't Know You Needed to Know with the Ranting Weight Watcher. Today's random fact comes from our great listener, Joyce, who calls herself my Weight Watcher Connect Mama. The World of Golf Foundation estimates that golfers who walk an 18-hole course clock about 5 miles and burn up to 2,000 calories. But here's the rub. About 2/3 of the golf in the U.S. is played on motorized carts. Well, I guess, maybe we would all be in a better place if we stopped using those carts and started walking the golf course. That makes me think that I need to get back to the driving range for number 2 session. I haven't been there since. Anyway, if you're wondering why I read this random fact about golf, it is because that I deal with a fear of mine that has stemmed from back in 4th grade. And that fear is of reading out loud. So I developed this segment in the show to force me to have to do it each week. Now, this is the one segment of the entire show that is completely raw, unedited. And I'm doing that because I would like to know that I'm getting better at reading aloud. If you would like to participate in this segment of the show, please do so. You can email the show with your fun fact or random fact and just put that in the subject line so I know not to open it when I receive it. I will leave it sitting there unread until the moment where I go to record it. This way we know, really, am I getting better at reading aloud, or, I want to be able to gauge progress, right? But anyway, if you want to participate, please send these emails to the show. The email address is therantingweightwatcher@gmail.com. Again, that is therantingweightwatcher@gmail.com. And don't forget, in the subject line, put random fact or fun fact. And the one thing I ask is keep it clean. This is a family show. Now, let's get back to the show. And we are back. Thanks for sticking with me. So we started off the show talking a little about last week's episode and the feedback received from that episode. And I got into the importance of staying with it for this time of year. How important it is to be as engaged now as you are or were on January 2nd. That is my argument. If you truly are going to make this a healthy lifestyle, the time of year should not matter. Your feelings should not matter, because your feelings and the time of year do not dictate whether or not you have achieved the health goals you have. They don't dictate it. You know your health goals, and you know your feelings aren't going to help you get anywhere, because your feelings are exactly what got you in this position in the first place. Whether your feelings helped you in the way that you eat emotionally, or your feelings helped you in just making poor choices over and over again, consistently. But either way, how you got here doesn't really matter. What matters most at this crucial point in the year is that you stay and you are as engaged in the final 3 months of the year as you are for the rest of the year. Now, I looked up some stuff from my past here, and it's going to seem, kind of geeky, data analysis and stuff like that. But I think it's important. And now, first, I want to say, before I even get into the data, I want to say that never once did I ever consider for half a second to be not engaged this time of year because it's the holiday season. I have always tracked, regardless of the time of year. I have always done whatever is necessary to the 97% accuracy I always talk about. You may be new here, but I talk about if you could do this plan with 97% accuracy. Now, where do I get the number 97? Where does that come from? Every last one of us within the sound of my voice at some point in our lives have trusted a condom. Without a doubt in your mind, you used it without even a hesitation. And that condom came with a 3% chance that it wouldn't work. And you took that 3% chance and you said, what the hell? Let's go for it. Come on, let's be real. That's exactly what you did. Now, if you could have the same attitude towards your weight loss journey, if you can look at it and achieve 97% accuracy, if you could achieve condom accuracy, you will be in a very, very good place. Because there is no such thing as perfection. Perfection was never required. Consistency is required. So if you can achieve 97% accuracy and you do it consistently, you're going to be in a tremendously good place on your journey. The results don't come right away. Just because you achieve condom accuracy doesn't mean it's going to show instant results. You've been working on the results you're currently trying to get rid of for years. So let's not pretend you can undo years worth of problems in minutes on plan. Just because you decide to do the plan properly for 7 days, you think you can eliminate years worth of problems. Forget it. That's not the way it works. It's never the way it worked. Like I was saying, never once did I ever consider myself checked out. In the 3 years I've been on plan, now I'm approaching year number 4. In January 2023, I will be 4 years on plan. So I am currently approaching my 3rd holiday season. And I wrote these numbers down because in all 3 years, I noticed a trend. In looking up this information for you guys, I noticed a trend that I do not like. October 2019. So what I did was I took the weigh-in weight from the first weigh-in of October and the weigh-in weight from the first weigh-in in January. And I gave you the difference. Okay? That's what my idea is here. So in October, the first weigh-in October 2019, I weighed in at 339.8. Now, this was my first year on plan. And this holiday season was the scariest, in my mind at least, it was the scariest of them all. Because I didn't want to ruin the progress I had achieved. I wanted to keep going. So I was as strict as one can be while dealing with the holidays. On the first weigh-in of January in 2020, I stepped on the scale and was 329.4. So this is a 4th quarter loss of 10.4 pounds. So let's call it 3 pounds a month. Just about. That was my first year on plan. I had developed a method during that time in which I call it the game plan. And I still use it to this day. I use the game plan to get me through every situation that I will be presented with that has zero control over what I'm actually eating. Like when I go to a party or I'm dealing with a holiday, whatever the case may be. When I have situations in this life, I have what I call the game plan. And I implement it every time this situation exists, for whatever reason it exists. So when I approached my second holiday season that began October 2020, I had a lot more confidence. There is no way you can take that first holiday season and see almost an 11-pound loss and not have confidence in your second holiday season. So that first weigh-in October 2020, I weighed in at 292.8. That first weigh-in January 2021, I weighed in at 300.4. That was a gain of 7.5, well, let's call it 8 pounds. It's a gain of 8 pounds over 3 months' time. So the first holiday season, I managed to lose almost 11 pounds. The second holiday season, I gain almost 8 pounds. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to the most. I didn't check out. I was still tracking all this time. I was still doing everything to the best of my ability. But what did I do instead, though? What did I do to enable the more luxurious choices that you have during this season? What did I do? I used more of the activity points I created, the weeklies that they give you every week. I used more of those to help deal with these times. The problem, though, was I didn't just use them on the day. I used them during the season. That's the difference. Because, like I said in the first half of this show, how many of the 90 days, the final 90 days of the year, how many of those days are actually holidays? And how many days are we just choosing to eat poorly? And that's basically what 2020 holiday season looks like. Now, how long did it take me to get rid of the 7.6 pounds? I wrote that down too. Now, it didn't take me long. When I made the correction, and this goes to show you that it is not necessarily, so this 7.6 pound gain is not necessarily all fat, right? So some of it's going to be water gain and all that stuff because of the way food is being cooked on the holiday season. Totally understand. That did not change the 2019 holiday season and being able to lose 11 pounds during that season. So the only difference between is I became more relaxed. So on January 9th, which isn't too bad, on January 9th, 2021, I weighed in at 288.2. I was officially under my October weight by only the second week. Let's say it's the second week of 2022, which isn't bad. I'm not saying that this is terrible. So now here is where the trend can be seen. Now, I want you to realize how far in time we traveled to see this trend. I went back to the beginning of my journey and went to the fourth quarter of my first year. And then I took you to the fourth quarter of my second year. Now I'm taking you to the fourth quarter of my third year. October 2021 to January 2022. On my first weigh-in in October 2021, I weighed in at 249.4. Again, I want to drill this in your head. At never once in any of these years I'm presenting to you, never once did I ever see myself as not engaged. This year that I'm about to tell you about is my worst of the 3 years. So now I had to go back 3 years, but I see a trend. And if I don't fix this trend, I'm going to have an even worse problem into next year. So on October 2021, I weighed in at 249.4. The first weigh-in of January 2022, I weighed in at 265 pounds. This is a gain of 15.6 pounds. Now here's the kicker. This is the worst part of it all. And I didn't realize this until I looked up these numbers today, October 11th, 2022. It took me, if I really want to be accurate here, May 14th is the actual day. And that would be 248.6. It took me until May 14th to lose the 15 and a half pounds that I gained from being I wasn't not engaged. Like I tell you, I was tracking. I was just using a lot more weeklies, a lot more activity points, and enjoying the season way too much. And so with that 15 and a half point gain came 5.5 months of trying to get rid of what I created in those short 3 months. I have a choice now, right? Here I am, October 2022, and I'm entering the same holiday season, and I have a choice. Do I go back toward 2019, or do I continue the trend and make it even worse than 2021? That is the choice that I face. And I challenge you. I challenge all of you. If you never actually cut off, I don't know how it works. If you never actually quit Weight Watchers and you just stop using the app, obviously the data of whatever you did is going to be sort of visible. You'll be able to get a rougher number, maybe. It'll be dependent on when you stop trying to weigh yourself. If you stopped. But take a look. Take a look at the last time we had your first weigh-in in last October and your first weigh-in of January. And then take a look further of how long it took you to get rid of what you created over those 3 months. Were you engaged during those 3 months, or were you just enjoying the holidays? That is the question. What in those short 90 days, what problem did we cause, and how long did it take us to fix it? That's the challenge. Take a look back. Look at October 2021 to January 2022. And depending on how many years you've been on plan, go back further if you want. Take a look at just those two weigh-ins. First weigh-in in October, first weigh-in in January of each year you've been on plan. Because there's a trend to be found. And you can live with the trend and accept it and see it as, oh, it's just normal. It's the holiday season. Or you can attempt to correct the trend. My 2019 holiday season is proof that it's possible. That you can enjoy the holidays and not go crazy. Now I face the choice of behaving more like I did in 2019 or behaving worse than I did in 2021. So here's the one thing I want you to take from this episode. I presented you with 9 months worth of data, spanning 3 years of time. And I want you to ask yourself this question. If this was your journey, what could October 2023 look like if you did the exact opposite of what you've always done in October 2022? Because here's the bottom line. Every year we get to this time of year and our emotions tell us, oh, come on, it's the holidays. Let's have a good time. And so you know what? You make exceptions. You make exceptions and you make exceptions. But that's 3 months out of a 12-month year. And the one connection you never make is that it's not just once a year. Because your emotions dictate the bad choices you make many times out of the year. But we only pay attention to each one as an isolated incident. We never look at the year as a whole. Because you know what? The exact same thing happens June, July, and August. Because your emotions are telling you, come on, it's summertime. Let's have a good time. Let's have a few drinks. Let's get loose and have a good time. So that's 6 months out of the year blown because your emotions want to have a good time. If you would put half the effort that you put into having a good time into being disciplined, being consistent, and doing what actually needs to be done so you can accomplish your goals, think about where you would be next year if you just once did the exact opposite of what your emotions want you to do. Where would you be next year if you do everything the opposite of what you've always done? I challenge you, for once in your life, choose life. Stop choosing death, because that's really what it is. It is life or death. Every emotional decision you make is life or death. And every time you choose something that takes you away from your health goals, you are choosing death. So for once in your life, start choosing life. And just see, maybe you could create a snowball reaction. And what would you be like next year? I love each and every one of you. God bless you all.